All right, guys, happy Monday, July 15th already. Coming to you full of gratitude, full of excitement, but also in a state of reflection. And I don't want to get political for any way, for any reason at all, but God, what a scary time, right? What a scary time that we are living through and that our kids are living through, and whatever the theories are, conspiracy, whatever, it is just a very, very trying time for our country. And so we just need to make sure that we're doing our part, make sure that you get yourself in the boost and you guys are voting and doing your part. But man, like, we just need some love. We just need some peace. Like, this is just, it's gone too far now. No matter which way you swing it, it is just gone too far. So I don't really care what your political stance is. That's not my responsibility, and I don't want to get in that debate. But it is definitely, it's a trying time for our country. It is something that we are living through that is history. I've actually lived through two of these now because it happened to Reagan when I was a kid. But I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if it's going to affect the market. I don't know if it's affecting interest rates or if people are going to be scared. I just don't know. But what I do know is that we just need a little bit more love in this country, and we need to be the people that are spreading that peace. And so that's all I have to say about that, you guys. It is crazy. It is wild. It is mind blowing, and I'm sure more stuff is going to come out in the coming weeks. And so let's get right into the session for this morning. I'm going to go over to Michael Swanson. Michael Swanson, I'm going to go over to you, my man. Before we'll leave it for a second. Let's have you bring us out on the field. Tell everybody what you would need to tell yourself this morning. What's the advice that you were giving yourself, hands on your shoulders, dead in the eyes, and saying, listen, my man, this is what you need to do in order to move your needle forward, my man. So what is that? And then while I have you, let's go ahead and share the great news, my man. So let's go ahead and kick this off. You're muted.
I'm muted. All right, here we go. It's Monday. It's a great day, man. I know a lot of people don't like Mondays. I fucking love Mondays. Get to it. Start of the week. Get going. So let's start the week off right. You're working towards any goals, any deals. If you need to, whatever you're doing towards marketing, man. Let's knock it out. Let's start the week off strong, and let's get it going.
Beautiful. And in regards to this, tell us what's good, man. You got some good news for us.
Yeah. So I don't know how many of you guys were on the call last Monday, but I was saying that I had a listing agreement that I was 100% sure I was about to knock down, and I got that listing agreement signed yesterday, so I'm totally juiced about that, excited about that, man.
Let's go, my man. What city? What price point?
It's in Oakland. We're listing at it's in the Redwood Heights district. We're listing at 895.
Beautiful, beautiful. Drop the address down here. I'm sure somebody on this call has an interested buyer in that market. So congratulations to you, Michael. I know that you've been working your ass off behind the scenes, and it's just a culmination of everything you've been doing behind the scenes, you guys. So let's get right into the discussion for this morning. But before we start out, does anybody want to share anything? Obviously, I brought up the potential or the attempted assassination. Does anybody else have anything to say? I always want to leave this as a space for people to speak their mind or share any thoughts or any insight. Does anybody have anything on their mind they want to share before we get this rolling? Anybody? I can give you guys the mic. Going once, going twice. You guys are quiet this morning. I get it. It's a very sensitive subject. I understand, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I did want to open the mic up to anybody that would like to chime in. All right, cool. So before we get started, before we get into action, before you guys start writing, doing any of your planning for the week, I want to go back to this book because this is a book that everyone needs to read. It is The Power of Moments. I've been diving into this book. Jeff and I were having a conversation about it. Ashley and I were having some conversation about it the other day. But let me just get a show of hands or give me an emoji if you've picked up this book, started listening to it, or started reading it. Anybody on the call yet? All right, so Ashley, nobody. Okay. I want you guys to definitely purchase this book, listen to this book, however you receive the information. And I'm going to pull my screen up really quick, but before I do so, in the book, they talk about the power of obviously moments, defining moments. They talk about peaks, they talk about pits, they talk about, being unreasonable. And I wanted to start the conversation out today with being unreasonable. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you are the unreasonable person in your business, when you are the person that goes above and beyond, when you are the person that is extra, right? I'm like, wow, you do so much for your consumers. There's always going to be somebody who says, well, can't you just do that a little bit more simply? Of course I can. but that would be reasonable. And I'm completely unreasonable about my pathway for success. And I'm completely unreasonable about creating a true experience for my consumers from start to finish. And I want you guys to think like that. When you think about your correspondence, when you think about your videos, oh my God, you delivered them tea and coffee or whatever it was when they submitted their EMD, like how much of your process is absolutely unreasonable? And why I like this conversation and why I hung on to this conversation, I was looking and doing some research over the weekend. And what I found is that, there's all kind of cliff notes about, this book and so on and so forth. But it brought me back to this, where was it? It brought me back to the popsicle hotline. And if you guys weren't on that session a couple weeks ago, it's okay. I don't want to go into that session one more time, but the popsicle hotline exists at a old resort called the Magic Castle in Southern California. And at the pool, they have a red phone, and all you do is you press it, and it's a popsicle hotline. The person comes out with a silver tray, and they deliver popsicles to the children. And this is one of the most defining moments. But stay with me because we're not going to rehash that session. The reason why I bring that up is because that is a moment throughout the entire experience when people stay at this resort that is a defining moment. This is one of those unreasonable moments that when they are reviewed and when they are asking for feedback from their consumers, when they're asking for surveys, that is the one thing. Even though the rooms are kind of shitty, the lobby is lackluster, no matter what, people are embracing this part here. And it says here, well, couldn't you just staff that? Couldn't you, or why would we staff that, right? Somebody might say, that's just absolutely ludicrous. Why would you have someone on the phone delivering popsicles throughout the day? And so many of these kids are going to overeat the popsicles and all this, because the unreasonable moments is what makes this place so absolutely incredible. And so when you have somebody saying, no, that's not going to work, or no, you're unreasonable, I want you to push past that. And I want you guys to think about, how can I make defining moments throughout my process? And how can I be a little bit unreasonable? And listen, you guys, that is okay. And I think that we need more of that. What we have in our business is we have a lot of mundane. We have a lot of the same. And then they meet someone like a Blessing or a Patrick or a Jessica or a Michael that create this completely different experience for a consumer. And that in itself is how you are going to get referrals. And you're going to get referrals from people that don't even buy a home from you, with you, or use you as their agent because they're not at that stage yet. They're not ready, but they're going to refer you to other people because you create an experience for your consumer. That's why this book is so important for you guys to dive in, look at, and see how can I enhance these moments throughout my entire presentation. So I'm sharing this with you because it's on my mind, and I feel it's super, super important that you guys are really looking at how can we create these peak moments throughout our presentation? How can we be completely unreasonable? And how can we do things that are completely out of the norm to create this experience for our consumers? And I promise you, if you start to unpack this, like we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, you guys are going to find these opportunities to create some really, really cool peak moments during your presentation. Phone calls, presentation, how you review information with your consumers, how you're following up, the videos that you send them, the cadence of videos that you send them throughout your transaction, your follow-up for life. All these things, you guys, you have an opportunity to really make an impression, be unreasonable, and create defining moments throughout your presentation. Anybody have any contributions on that subject? If you are reading the book, if you are diving into it, or just any contributions at all on this subject? I know, Ashley, you're reading that book, but you are driving. So let's go, Ashley. Let's hear from you. Anybody else wants to chime in? Even if you're not reading this book, I think this still lands for most of the people on this call. So let's go, Ashley.
All right, can you hear me? I turned my
Loud and
camera
clear.
off, so hopefully
Loud and
that
clear.
helps. Yes? Good?
Yep.
Okay. So it made me think about I haven't gotten to that part of the book, but I love it because it made me think about all the processes that I do, all the videos that I have, all the templates that I have, all the work that went into it. Someone might look at my process and go, that's completely unreasonable. Why do you do all that? But it makes the consumer feel so safe and taken care of. So their experience is elevated. And then it made me think of Kenny Fast. I was looking at his stories, and he was like at a conference detailing every single speaker when they started to speak, what the notes were about each person. He said I probably take better notes than the people that are putting on this conference. And some people might look at that and go, that's completely unreasonable. But for him, that allows him to bring it back to the team in a really simple form in a way that other people wouldn't be able to do. So doing same thing with all the research that you do, and then you can bring it back simple. So a lot of things that we do are completely unreasonable to normal people looking at our processes, but it's really what makes the difference.
Yeah, actually, I'm so glad that you said this because obviously I agree with everything you said about Kenny, but people think that I'm unreasonable doing these calls 3 times a week, right? They're like, well, why don't you just do it once a week? Because I don't want to do it once a week because there's no other group coaching that exists in our space that is 3 times a week at 8:30 to 9:30 that has gone on for this long, that has had this type of impact in this type of community. I'm unreasonable about this. And it's a lot of work, but I'm okay with that because I know that if you guys took one thing from these sessions 3 times a week, then that means that you're 3, 6, 9, 12 times better than you were than the month before. And I look at that as a compound effect. And so I love that, Ashley. Appreciate your contribution. Let's go over to Blessing. Blessing, you had your hand up. Then I'm going to pull one more example up as well. Let's go, Blessing.
So this is really just a great like segue from like the open house that I co-hosted this weekend, and we went so over the top with our spread. It literally felt so. Yesterday we did like a brunch. So we had mimosas, we had fruit skewers, we had like all of the breads, we had muffins, we had like there was just this whole spread that every single person that came in was like, this is so extra, but we put it right in front of the door leading outside because this lot was absolutely amazing. So what we saw, every single person, regardless if they came in with an agent or if they didn't want to talk to us, is that they walked up to the table, looked at the spread, and like stood there looking outside, and their next moment was going outside. And it just created this like absolute moment of like, just stop and admire the house. Like you don't need to breathe. There was no way to rush through the house with this huge spread. And, we continued to sell the spread more than we sold the house, but it made people just stop. And so many agents were like, you just raised the bar for, what we do. Like we only do this for broker tour. And I'm like, well, if we're going to do this for broker tour, why not do it for our consumer? Like they like snacks just as much as we. It just makes people stay in the house and create this moment that, again, I just feel like this is something I'm going to do going forward. Hopefully you don't run out of money, but it's definitely an unreasonable thing to just create moments and draw attention to the places that you want people to see in the house.
I absolutely love this vantage point because you have to think of a consumer's going and seeing multiple open houses on any given Saturday or Sunday. Reasonable, reasonable, reasonable. Whoa, totally unreasonable, totally different experience, different feeling. And it also speaks to the attention attention to detail that you offer, right? Wow, this person went through all the little steps and oh my God, like that's a person that I'm going to want in my corner when they're representing me or listing my home or representing me as a buyer. So it serves both principles. So I love this, Blessing. Let's go over to Christina. I'm gonna give you guys one more example and then we'll shift gears. Let's go, Christina.
I just wanted to add what Blessing was saying. Open houses, like it's really inexpensive. Like you could get really creative on what you can bring and like foods, even going to like grocery outlet, getting some cool fruits and cheeses, crackers. It makes buyers, when they walk in that door, be so much more comfortable to talk to you. Because sometimes, they walk in and then you're like, okay, do I approach them yet? And they're looking at you from the corner of the eye and they're going this way. And I hate that like awkwardness. And so I feel like food makes people feel comfortable. Because then you're like, hey, do you want some snacks? It's not, oh, are you pre-approved? Are you working with a realtor? Da-da-da-da. It's not that approach. It's first, hey, do you want some snacks? They see it. I do like little cups and it looks all fancy and it was honestly really inexpensive, but it creates the conversation with them. So then they start to let their guard down. So they're like, oh, wait, they're not trying to sell me on anything. They just want to talk to me, right? And then you start the conversation that way, which then as they're walking out the door, or as they're looking around, then you can switch up the conversation and they feel like, okay, like this is a person, this isn't like salesy. I know we all cringe on that, but it really makes such a difference. I love having those goodies at open houses because it's a conversation starter.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I absolutely love this. And Patrick, I see you, big dog, getting in the office, committed no matter what. I'm going to go back to my notes here or someone else's notes, but I'm going to go back to this. So back on the subject of really creating these peak moments. And in the book, they talk about for the school, they wanted to evaluate this and said, how can you create a moment that was more memorable than prom, right? And obviously this all correlates to what we do, because you guys are all in the business of creating an amazing experience and taking people through a journey, right? And you are somebody that they're going to remember if you do a good job at following up for the rest of their lives. And that's the hope, right? This isn't a past client. These are clients for life. And that's the type of mentality that we have to have. Now, there's probably going to be some dickheads that you don't want to work with. Let's not call them clients for life. But these are the people that you should be following up with for the rest of your career and being able to, make sure that they're in your world. But in San Mateo, there is a school in San Mateo, and what they did is 2 teachers came up with this really, really cool exercise. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to get the students more engaged in the process of learning, because when students were surveyed, when they were asked what were their most memorable times during their academic career, it was mostly not about academics at all. It was probably prom. It was probably going to the rallies. It was something cool at the school. It was the drunk driver. I forgot what they call it. Something on the minute where they do the example of like a drunk driver and the crash, and they act out the scene. So there are all these things that these students that they talked about, that, but none of them had to do with the academics. And so what they did is they gave the students an opportunity to create their own trial. There's an old book out there called Lord of the Flies, and I'm sure you've probably heard that or read that book or saw the movie. I remember reading that book when I was in 7th grade. Now, the gentleman that wrote that, his name was William Golding. William Golding actually got sued. It was a class action lawsuit because it was a class action lawsuit about how he spoke derogatory about human nature. Right. And so the school said, why don't we make this a whole exercise? And we're going to have the school put on a trial of human nature. And it challenged the students to put William Golding on trial, who wrote The Lord of the Flies, and give him either a verdict of guilty, not guilty, so on and so forth. And they had different people come in and different figures throughout, history. What was cool about this is that the kids had to go through this trial for 2 months. They had to prep, plan, prepare, prosecution, defense. They had to get all of their witnesses. And what happened is that when all of those kids were surveyed, they're now on their 29th consecutive, case of doing this. The kids had said these were the most memorable times in my whole academic career. Once again, why am I sharing this with you guys? I'm sharing this with you guys because a school looked at this and said, how can we impact the students and make this a better experience for them and give them these peak moments that are going to last forever? And we have to look at that in ourselves and say, how can we do that in our business? So you guys, I'm really loving this book. I want you guys to read this book with me. It is absolutely incredible, but schools can do it, realtors can do it, other types of businesses can do it. Also, us as a leadership team, we can look at this, right? What are the milestones that you guys reach in your businesses that we can make a bigger deal of? How can we make those moments more special? What can we do other than the tons of things that we do already? How can we even go a cut above and do it layers and layers deeper? So I want to share that with you guys. Wonderful book. Absolutely enjoying this, but let's get right into our slide deck for the day. I got some things prepped and prepared for you guys, and let's go here. I'm going to present and we'll go here. Boom. All right, guys. So obviously I want to hear from you guys. I need 5 people in the queue to talk to me about their wins from last week, appointments, new contract, listing take-in, video that they posted that just went crazy, went wild. So let's hear from you guys. I need 5 people to get their hands up in the queue and get ready for this conversation. So I got 1. I know you guys have other wins. I know you have other wins. So let me pause for a second. All right, Shelly, I got 2. I need 3 more, you guys. Don't leave me hanging either. Who's got a win that they want to share? And listen, if you don't raise your hand, I'm just going to be calling on you. All right, cool. We're good to go. All right, cool. I got my whole top line is filled on my screen. So let's go, Christina Montiel. Christina Montiel, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to implore you. I'm going to push you to throw your camera on. I don't care what your hair looks like. Let's go.
I know. I look terrible.
Come on.
Oh my God. Why? It's
There
like,
we go. There we go. Let's give her some love. All right. Let's go. Talk to us about your wins from last week.
good morning, good morning. Super excited. Got another client into contract last week. They are friends of mine. Been working with them for over a year and a half. They actually helped me come home after my accident. So I have a special love for them in my heart. They were there with me when things were bad. And so now I get to help them. They bought a cute condo in San Jose by Willow Glen. They're, newlyweds. So I call them the kids, but amazing. So Kelly and I are in contract and super excited. So
Let's go. Let's go. Well, congratulations. And, people may not know, Christina had a crazy accident a couple years ago, and she's had to really just, build herself back up from that accident. And it's amazing to see how you're showing up. I love the combo video with you and Kelly, like just shows this, this new partnership that is formed between you two. Absolutely loved it. So really, really good stuff, Christina. Let's go over to Cynthia Jackson. Cynthia Jackson, I'm going to change your name one more time, and I'm going to hopefully. All right, so let's go with you. Wins from last week.
Oh gosh. Well, wins from last week. Last week was it doesn't have anything to do with work. I mean with the business, but it was all family and personal stuff. And I saw my family off. They're gone. They're in Indiana now. I'm happy and sad at the same time, but probably more happy in this very moment because it's given me the space and the freedom to do me. And so I had my surgery, which was successful. And then, I'm just on a high, really. And I posted yesterday because I just figured, I just got to do it. So I listened to you and, did the little video and the responses. I looked at the numbers because I do understand the value of numbers. And I saw the numbers and I saw the impact. And so, yeah, that was a huge win.
Let's
Elias,
go. Let's go.
that was major. Yeah. So I'm really
Listen,
excited about it.
I mean, people are watching. People that you don't know are watching. People that you'll never meet are watching. People that you love and are in your circle that know, like, and trust you are watching. And so, stay consistent with it. I promise you, I'll say it until the end of my days. I promise you, great things will come from it as long as you're consistent with social. So good stuff, Cynthia. Let's go, Blessing, and then Otis, you'll be on deck. Blessing, tell us some wins from last week.
So biggest win from last week is that our listing, Jessica and I's listing, is under contract. We got into contract with 4 offers after 10 days on the market, full 2 weekends of open houses, and just going back and forth, just advocating for our client. So just really, really proud to just be into the negotiation and transaction part of it after, about a month of working with this particular client. And this is a referral from my sphere. So regardless of how long you've been in an area, we all have a sphere. And as long as you just leave an impression, people will advocate for you. So this is a friend of mine who the seller reached out to him and was like, you need to contact Blessing, and was able to meet with him, kind of figure out what the best strategy was, and then went through a full remodel or partial remodel of the house to bring it to market. And now we are 16 days from closing. Fingers crossed, prayers, all of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. When you think about the momentum that you and Jessica have right now, like, where's it coming from? Is it coming from your constant visibility, talking to the sphere, reaching out? Like, where's it coming from?
You talk about being unreasonable, and we're just putting ourselves out there and going after all of our leads that we've collected. So if we look at between door knocking, between phone calls, online leads, and just absolutely nurturing them, that's where all of our momentum is coming from, and just refusing to let anything fall through the cracks and refusing to quit. So that's where that comes from.
Let's go. I love it. Shelly, let's go to you. I forgot that you had raised your hand. Shelly, let's go to you. And then O-Dog, you will be on deck. Shelly, let's try to get you off of mute.
Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're here now.
Yeah. my personal win is like I complete 30 days challenge last week. So that was the biggest challenge for me. And I give 50% credit to Otis and Elias for pushing us not only just for the field of like helping other clients, but help taking care of yourself. So I'm so happy. I'm still going to gym, but every morning that was my biggest challenge, like to keep my schedule. So I did that.
Wow,
And
good for you.
Me and Otis are in contract. Yay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's the win. And I appreciate Otis' support and believing me. That this client, I showed them a lot of properties, and I was available whenever they told me like to let's go see the property. But finally, we are in the contract and looking forward to smooth transition.
Yes, let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
and
go.
I want to do more partnership to just let's work deals done. That's lovely to have your own strengths.
Hey, it's all about leverage, all about
Yeah,
leverage. So
yeah.
Otis, let's hear from you, my man. I'm sure that you probably are sharing in a similar win, or if you have something else to contribute, but let's hear from you.
Yeah, it's crazy too. It confirmed it when we happened to add now even asked her. Like I kept telling Cynthia for some reason, I feel like I know you from somewhere. We family. Jimmy's actually my cousin. So I seen them today. They got a lot of thunder and lightning out there in Indiana. So I know that was an emotional journey for her. So I just want to send a lot of love to you because uh I've known him since we were like, I'm like about I think 6 or 7 years older than him, but he has two other brothers, little David and Ricky, and we grew up together, and I've known them for over 30 years. So they're family. So I just want to say love to you, and everybody else that's winning right now. It's so good to see a lot of the newer agents out here like really fucking crushing it. You know, when I came in, a lot of us were really struggling. So to see so many of you guys like like, fuck. Some of y'all like a week on the team, a month on the team, 3 months on the team. It took me a whole fucking year to get on the board. So, congratulations to you guys and keep pushing up. Obviously, yes, that is one of the huge wins that I wanted to share. That Shally, she goes above and beyond. So if you ever partner with her, just know that if you're not gonna cross that eye, she's right there to back it up. She works really hard. And this one was difficult because um, I could I mean, I could talk to them, but I don't think like it was catching like certain things would catch to them. So I don't think that's why they like after I showed them hella homes, it just didn't click. And then rates were a little high and I don't think they were ready, but Shally having the same ethnic background, I figured, let her lead and let her communicate. And I mean, there was times where I'm on the phone talking to her and she's talking to them just so it could stick. And the same thing with Spanish. I want to thank Stephanie because she's very vital to the key point of this transaction because uh, they speak Spanish, but they speak English, but the dad speaks fluent Spanish. And, it's hard for me to keep telling her something and then translate. So having that straight patient straight to her dad. This was the same deal that I was already working and I got my listing on that me and Ina got together in San Pablo. So if anybody's looking for that, we have that. It's still off market right now. We're looking to get any type of deal. Come holla at me if you're looking at it. Kevin Bowie's already looking at it. So more eyes, more merrier. But they're buying as well. So we're trying to get in contract with this agent being such a douche. But I understand because it's a sell contingent did such a good job communicating and working with this family and got so connected with them on an emotional level that now that they're selling that home, remember that I told you guys their mom passed away. So there's a lot of sentimental value in this property. Once the other sister found out that they were selling mom and dad's home, they're now wanting to sell their home to get that home. So I'm pulling off 4 deals with one and one family. So it's a lot of moving parts, but I'm ready for it. And the fact that Shally got in contract, me and Jacob got about like 4 or 5 people writing offers right now. Sierra's got a couple of people out there that's really active. Like the pipeline's really strong. So throwing all
Love
these
it.
leads out, sometimes it's like you don't want to give so much of your business out, but you can just see how it's all gonna start coming back fold for me. So it's a lot of escrows coming. So I'm just happy to be on a team that's so fluent with this movement and me just continuing to do it. A lot of people don't, but I'm telling you guys, you're going to get a lot of volume and a lot of units and you'll get a lot of other business. So just keep
Right.
doing things like that.
That's right. I love it, Otis. And I love that you're always looking out for the team members and saying, how can I leverage my time? How can I work with somebody new? How can I get, different types of styles in on this deal? So I absolutely love it. Let's go, Michael Swanson, then we'll shift gears. Michael Swanson, let's hear from you. Other than the win you already shared,
Well,
is there a different one?
No, obviously, I already touched on the win a little bit. I kind of want to deep dive it just a little bit and kind of touch on my feelings
Yeah,
about
please.
the late great Nipsey Hussle said, he said, I went through everything, every emotion with what I'm chasing. He said, the one thing I didn't do was quit. And so I've been feeling that, crazy over the last couple of years, from my first year in the business, feeling like I was crushing it, to the last year kind of feeling like I was failing. So I just want to tell anybody on the call that's feeling like they're not, doing what they set out to do in this business, just keep pushing and keep grinding and don't quit. The wins are coming as long as you stay consistent and keep showing up. Shout out to Otis too. Otis always checks in with me and gives me words of encouragement, and comes and talks to me. Yo, he's been a big push in my corner. So I appreciate you, bro.
So let's say that one
I
more
love
time.
you, Mike, bro. I love you, bro.
Let's say that one more time. I went through every emotion. Wait, say it one more time.
I went through every emotion with this thing that I'm pursuing. The only thing I didn't do was quit.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful, man. That's really, really powerful. I love that. And I love to see the support, love to see the love, I love to see the encouragement. Otis, I'll come back to your hand in just a moment, but really good stuff, you guys. Let's go into this. Before I move on, I'm going to take a quick pause. And I want to share something with you, but do not take a picture of this. Do not put it on social media yet, because I am not releasing it just yet. However, you guys are here, and so I'm going to share this with you really quick. So in a couple of weeks, I'm launching Summer Intensity. Now, I don't know if you've ever attended an intensity. Please raise your hand if you've ever done an intensity with me. Intensity is a high-level accountability group. No excuses, no bullshit, results only. And this is going to be a challenge. It is going to run 6 weeks. I'm going to launch it in August. We're going to get all the signups starting tomorrow. We'll run the signups for 2 weeks, and then we're going to launch in August. So I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. And here's the thing. You guys, I feel that we have a bond. You guys are here at Keep It Moving Group Coaching. That means that you're really, really excited about moving your business forward. Listen. If you sign up for for Summer Intensity, you got to come correct, right? You got to come correct, meaning that there is one strike you get every single week, and that is it. If you miss one thing, you're done. And I have to remove you from the call. And I do that live. And I don't mean it to be hard on you. I mean it because the program is called Intensity. It's not, oh, come here and maybe I'll do my metrics and maybe I won't. No, this is not the group for you. It's opt in. It's going to be hard. It's going to push you. It's going to stretch you past your limits. But I promise you, great things will come from that session. Somebody on this call who completed it in the past, please raise your hand if you completed it in the past. All right, Pat, tell me a little bit about the experience, man. What can people expect if they were to sign up? We're not going to go too far into it, but let me hear from you, Pat.
Yeah, no, for sure. Intensity. I think I joined it when I was fresh, right? I think I joined it like 2 months in. The team, you sent it the invite in. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. One key takeaway that I got from that is that it builds a really solid foundation of your schedule of how you should attack your business, right? Not only in one aspect, but in different aspects, such as social media, follow-ups, and how you would talk, and also just keeping that energy as well. I mean, overall, that sets the mood up for your business, if anything,
That's
So
right. And there's a reason why we're doing it summertime, because your activities from the summer are going to equate to fall business. Business equates to Christmas escrows and holiday escrows. You guys, I'm gonna hook you up by pushing the shit out of each of you guys in that program. Let's go, Jessica Segura Hernandez. You had your hand up, and Blessing, if you want to contribute as well. And we'll get right into the numbers. Jessica Segura Hernandez, let's hear from you. I thought she raised her hand for a second. All right, we'll move on. I don't see her there. Let's go, Blessing.
Yes, I did intensity. I think I was not even 3 months into joining the team. And Elias, you scared me when you first said no excuses. And then seeing like the first round of people get cut, I was like, oh shit, this is it. He wasn't joking. And I think that one thing about intensity beyond like how you push us is it's really, we get to see how much you root for us and really take like all of this commitment. And I don't think that you get enough flowers for how you really do hold space for every single person individually. It takes so much to put that amount of push and focus and intensity into someone else's everything. So it's one of those where you get into it and you're doing it for you, but then when you have someone that goes so hard for you, it feels different to let them down and then sit here and look at them in the face. So it's one of those where it's a double accountability. So if you're going to sign up, just know, like, yes, it's going to be hard, but you've got someone in your corner, and like the whole team rallies together to get you through it. It becomes a group commitment.
I appreciate you, Blessing. Samandy had it on her home screen for so many months. I don't know if she still does. Maybe she does. But it became a part of people's identity, right? And so this was a foundational item for me. And these are the things that I stay tried and true in my business. And I appreciate that, Blessing. And, my assistant's on the line. I don't know if you guys have had, well, some of you have had communication with Judith, but Judith's my executive assistant. And she makes my job even more easier. She makes my job manageable. She makes me be able to focus on the main thing while she does what she's really good at in the organization in the back end. So Judith, I just want to give you some love and you some flowers because you are a true blessing to me and how I've been able to grow this department. You guys, let's go right back into our slides. Let's go back into wins. Obviously, I want you guys to ask yourself this. We're all going to have some challenges this week. I want you guys to ask yourself, what challenges are you going to encounter this week? Is it a sticky situation that you're in right now in escrow? You need to keep that together. Is it you're leaving for a week? You need to make sure to get all of your, your ducks in a row. Whatever that looks like for you, be able to identify what challenges might you encounter this week. And we're going to go to the board, you guys. And what I want to do, I think I missed one. Hold on. No, we're good. Go to the board, and same thing every single week, you guys. Go to the board, and I want you to not make any excuses, no bullshit, no stories. I don't want to hear that. Nobody in your world wants to hear that. Just be clear on what the actual numbers are. Deal of the week, you guys. I don't know how many of you did this last week, but I encourage you to do this, and I'm going to say it once again. It is Monday. What is the deal of the week? The deal of the week is just a really quick email and video and text message that you're going to send out to your database. Deal of the week, Berkeley, right? I came across this property. I felt it was ideal for you. This is our deal of the week because of these reasons. If you're interested, respond back to this email. You guys all have a deal of the week, no matter if you're in the Peninsula, if you're in the Central Valley, if you're in Sacramento, if you're in the Greater Bay Area, each of you have a deal of the week. And I promise you, if you do this and you do it effectively every single week, you guys will get people raising their hand. And that's all that I want for you is raising of hands. Now, what are you committed to accomplishing this week? I want you to write it down and I want you to declare it. Tell me, tell somebody in your environment, tell your parents, tell your family, tell your kids. I don't care who the heck you're telling, but you need to declare it. It's one thing actually writing it down in your notes. You have to declare it. You have to speak it to existence. So what are you committed to accomplishing this week? And I want you to write it and then I want you to declare it. Is it X amount of calls, X amount of doors, X amount of videos, whatever that looks like for you? I want you to write it down. I want you to declare it to somebody in your world. Like I said, let's get clear on the numbers, the conversations, the videos, the stories, follow calls, leads added to Real Scout. Each of these metrics need to be truly defined. You guys need to get clear with your numbers. How much physical activity are you going to have this week? Are you guys going to actually move your ass? Are you going to move your body? Or are you going to make an excuse of why you didn't go to the gym because you were so busy? That does not exist in my thought process in any way, shape, or form. There's never a reason for you not to exercise. You could come at me. We can have this conversation all day long. There's never a reason ever for you not to move your body. So you want to grow, you want to be the star that you are, then you need to take care of your temple. All right. Today, I'm going to do this, even though I don't want to. I'm going to do this. Cynthia Jackson, she is going to create another video today, even though she doesn't want to. I'm just using it as
Who said I didn't want to? Of course I am.
No, I'm using it as an example, all right? I'm not picking on you. But today, I'm going to do this, whatever that task is, even though I do not want to. And then last but not least, you guys, and I want this to hit for each of you on this call today and the people that will see this in the future. Are you being honest with yourself? And are you being honest with others? And listen, I want you to reflect and ask yourself, am I really being honest with myself? I said that I want to do this. I want to create this life for my family. I want to be able to, put my family on. I want to be able to travel. I want this freedom of choice and freedom of time. But am I being honest with myself? Meaning, am I actually doing the things that I know that I truly need to do, right? Or am I fronting? And I'm not asking you to speak on camera about that right now, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to say, you know what? I'm not walking in my purpose. I'm not living up to the things that I've told myself that I wanted to do. And there's a true disconnect. So I have to get back in a realignment. And then are you being honest with others? Are you the person that's telling your friends and your homies in this business that you're doing everything, you're showing up, you're doing all the work, but when you pull back the veil, you're not really doing it, right? And so you guys got to be honest with yourself. And I'll be the first person to tell you that if I wasn't living up to exactly what I needed to accomplish in this business, it would be glaring. You guys would see it. So I want you guys to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others, and make sure that you are walking in your purpose, because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good that you said you wanted to do all these things in this business, and you tell all your homies in this business that you're going to do all these things. And then when you close the door and when no one's looking, you're not actually living up to that. And that hurts. That hurts as a human being. But you have the opportunity to change that. That's not my responsibility as a coach, you guys. That's not my responsibility. My job is to put things into perspective. My job is to be a thought provoker. My job is to be an emotion provoker. And if I can create enough emotion, enough thought that causes you to take action, that's my job. That's my job, is to create the feeling and provoke the thought that will take you to move into action. That's it. That's it. So you got to be honest with you. You got to be honest with them. And if you're not, then you got to make some changes. You got to make some changes. You got to do it quickly. You guys, I'm going to let Ashley back in. I'm going to stop this. Who wants to share? A couple people. I'd like to hear what you're committed to accomplishing this week. I don't want no bullshit. Like I said, no stories, no excuses. Just like, what are you committed to accomplishing this week? It is Monday. You guys, it's July 15th. We have so much on our plate for this week that we can tackle. So I want to know, what are you committed to accomplishing this week? Let's go, Patrick, and let's get a couple more people in this queue. Let's go, Pat.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd like to share my goals with numbers, regarding numbers. But one of my biggest challenges is, it's been about 21 days now, but I stopped drinking, consuming alcohol. I'm gonna keep it going, right? And I think it's a big challenge for me, because I mean, I've been surrounded by the liquor my whole life. I mean, that's hard to kind of take away. But for me, I'm choosing to kind of let that go, because I saw a quote where the only reason, or sorry, what was that? The only way you'll get somewhere is by deciding that you don't want to stay where you are, right? So, I mean, it goes back to all the previous meetings that we've had. Saying no, staying true to your character, conserving your energy, and really owing to yourself growth, right? And the only way we can do that is by sacrificing, and
Wow.
that's one thing that it's my biggest challenge for this week. It's my birthday coming up. I'm going to the Philippines for a week, and I'm gonna keep saying no to liquor. I mean, that's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it.
And also, aren't you a bartender in the evening some nights?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's a challenge, man. So,
Yeah.
we're here for support, bro. I love this for you, and happy birthday, and hopefully you have an amazing trip. Walk us through your
Yeah.
numbers, bro.
What's that?
Walk us through the numbers.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Every day, I'm trying to do, so every week I at least want to do 2 open houses, right? And that's how I accomplished that last week. At least get two set appointments every day. Call everyone up, right? I've been being stable about last week. Been stable since last week. At least have 5 conversations, at least 20 cold calls, right? Whether it's buyers or old leads or whatever, right? Go through the damn yellow pages, whatever. Figure it out. Call somebody. Somebody got to get called, right? And also with the open houses, at least door knock, at least 50 doors. So those are the solid numbers that I do every week, and get to the office by 8:30, right? Those are all numbers that I'm achieving.
Man, I absolutely love this. There should never be a time when you guys are looking at your business. There should never be a time where you're like, when was the last time I hit the phones? Right? This should just be normal, right? Now, obviously, at different stages of your business, then the phone calls that you make will be different because you have more people in your database that you've met at open houses, so on and so forth. But there should never be a time where you're like, when was the last time I actually prospected? And if you're on this call and you're on the team, you guys, you have access to the lead pawn. Now, the lead pawn gives you access to leads that have been unconverted in our system. So what you have the ability to do is just go in there and be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good enough to say, you know what, Priscilla Peterson, somebody else might have called you, but I didn't call you yet. And I'm so glad that you get to hear my voice. And so you guys have the opportunity in our environment to make calls if you feel that your business is not where it needs to be, and just get me someone on the phone. Get me someone on the phone, and you know what? It's going to be game over from then. So I like that, Pat. I love that that's part of your flow. Let's go, Christina Montiel. Let's hear from you. Commitments, or what are you sharing? Let's go.
I am committed to my health. I've been working out 3 times a week, but I am increasing to every day. Not pushing as much because sometimes I can't, but alternate the exercise that I have to do. So I'm pushing that for myself. And also I am committed to continue to call my sphere, because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I already talked to that person. What am I supposed to say now? But and that pushed me, that the little voice in my brain, just like, why you have to call, don't call. So I am committed to restart that again this week, and not listen to their voice.
Yeah, and so that I'm really glad that you say this, because this happens to a lot of us. We have to audit those calls. First off, we have to say, okay, what can I actually call to speak to a value to this person? Was there an article that I said? Is there an event happening in the Bay Area? Oh my God, what's your take on what happened to Trump? What's going on? Like there's so many things that are happening. It's summertime. What are you guys doing to beat the heat? So think about just being a human being, right? It might not be real estate related. They obviously know who you are, right? They know what you do for a living, but like, find ways to be truly interested in them. Also find ways to communicate about what's happening in the Bay. What's up, Christina? How are you? Hey, I don't know if you saw that there's the festival on Tuesday at X Plays. Are you guys going? All right, cool. I'm just calling all my people, seeing how the summer's going. You guys need anything from me? Awesome. Well, I just want to say hello, and hopefully I see you out this summer. Like, fuck, it's human, right? It's human, right? And then, as you're calling these people, even if they're not homeowners, or excuse me, even if they're not ready yet, if they're homeowners, then you put them on your Real Scout. You put them in home value, alerts, so they're constantly getting something from you. So be human about it, have some fun with them, check in on a very, very genuine level. But absolutely love this. So you guys, I want you to go to your board. I want you to write those down. Know exactly what challenges you're going to face right now. Know exactly what you're committed to. Know your numbers, know your metrics, and stick to it. That's why intensity is so important, because that's what it does, is it allows you to look at your week and say, okay, what's going to move my needle every single week? The goal today should be to get an appointment. It's that simple. The goal is to get an appointment, either in person or on Zoom. My goal is to move someone further down the funnel. So great stuff, you guys. Let's go around the room. Let's hear from a few people. I'm going to go over to Janice. Janice, it's so good to see you. It's been a little while. I'm so glad that you're here. Janice, one key takeaway from our time together today. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. My key takeaway that I took was just to go above and beyond and separate yourself, like in the sense of be different, be bold, be that extra personality, going above and beyond, doing the things that others aren't willing to do or aren't thinking of doing. So that was my key takeaway.
I love
Go
it.
get after it, you guys.
I love it. Be unreasonable, right? Be unreasonable. And I absolutely love it. Hugo, let's go to you. Key takeaways from our time together today. Hugo, let's hear from you.
So team, same thing here, the being unreasonable, that's my main takeaway, right? That's okay, right? In business, right? And in marketing and calls and everything, right? That's fine. Definitely in the right direction.
I love it. I love it, bro. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's go over to, let me pull my screen back up. All right. So let's go over to Cynthia. Cynthia, great contributions today. I love all the progress that you're making. I love the excitement. I love your energy. I'm a big fan. Cynthia, one key takeaway from our time together today.
Actually, when I first heard you say unreasonable, it's sort of for me what it did was it's like a reversal of what is reasonable, right? And in my mind, I had to reverse that thought. So it sort of reminds me of a book I read years ago that I live by, which is the subtle art of not giving a fuck, right? Because it, have you read that book?
I'm familiar with it. I haven't read it though.
Oh my God. So what it is it's not about being like mean about not giving a fuck, but essentially it's only so many you have to give. Like so many, I can only care about so much because I'm only one person and there's only so much time and blah blah blah. So the unreasonable piece of this book or what you're talking about, being unreasonable is directly in line with not giving a fuck because I only have so much time to use my fucks for, right? So and then you have to think about what things are fuck worthy, right? Do I like should I give a fuck about this or not, right? I love this. I live my life by this thought. And so unreasonable is a step above what is reasonable. So in my mind, I had to do a reversal to just kind of grasp that idea. So this is definitely something that I intend to implement
I love
immediately.
this. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Really good stuff. And I absolutely love the perspective. So two things I want to share with you guys really quick. On the 25th of this month for Keep It Moving, I have a special guest. All the correspondence will come out very soon. So I am having this lady. Her name is Maha. Maha happens to be Gary Vee's publicist. She reached out to me because of my relationship with Giselle Ugarte, and she is a author of a new book called 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. She's going to be our special guest speaker. She has been the publicist for Gary Vee for over 8 years. She is ex-Google employee, Netflix PR, and just an amazing woman. She's actually going to be on the main stage at Inman, which I'm really, really excited to be able to spend some time with her in Vegas, meet her. She has opened up companies in Dubai. She has done some crazy, crazy stuff in her career. So if you guys can, give her a follow. She's going to be our guest in a couple of weeks, and I'm really, really excited about having Maha on. You guys, once again, the power of consistency when you look at your social media. So I want to give you guys just an example because I'm always going to live by example, and I'm always going to give you guys truth from what is working and what is not working. So I posted this video last week. It was just a short reel, couple times of me on stage and, getting my thoughts out there about presenting, so on and so forth. Well, later on that day, I got a message from Inman. Right now, I'm an ambassador for Inman. I'll be out there this year for Inman Connect and making sure that community is even more hyped and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to just being a student. Well, they asked me if I wanted to be a speaker, and I spoke in January, which I was super, super excited about. Now I'm going to speak in Las Vegas, but this time I'll get to be on a panel on the main stage. And I made a goal to myself by the end of the year, I wanted to get invited to speak at Inman on the main stage. Now, next year, I'll get my own 20-minute segment, but for now, it's okay. I'm on a panel about the power of video within our company and within my own, journey of content creation. So you guys, you never know who's watching. I didn't ask to speak at Inman this time because I'm already going to be there as an ambassador, but they said, would you like to be one of our speakers? And I'll tell you what, you guys, it means the world to me. It means the world to me. But if I wouldn't have created that video, which was a short, quick video that I made, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. I just wouldn't have. So there's power in the things that we share with you guys and encourage you guys to do. And so that's obviously a dream of mine. Now those things are coming full circle. But if I didn't have the visibility, then this is not even something I would be considered for. And so you guys are in the same exact boat as me. When I started out on my journey, in this business years back, I didn't know any of you. I had 0 followers. Fast real estate didn't exist. None of this existed. Keep It Moving wasn't even a thing. And so everything that I tell you guys that is possible in our business, I have experienced and I'm going through it and I'll continue to go through it. And so I'm going to speak to you guys from experience, not from theory. So I wanted to share that with you because it's important to me. You guys are important to me and I appreciate the ongoing support. So you guys, thank you for all your contributions. Be very fucking clear with what you want to accomplish this week and go after it and go after that and make it fun. Have some excitement. Do your story of the week, or excuse me, your deal of the week. and go out there and make this a week that counts. If you need anything, you know where to find me. If you have not, last thing, if you have not RSVP'd for our mid-year review tomorrow, please make sure to do so. I want you guys there. I want your energy in the room. I want to be there to celebrate your accomplishments, talk about new things happening in our environment. I'm going to put this in the chat down below. So if I can get a show of hands for everybody. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Judith. If I can get a show of hands, how many people are going to be there? Show me your hands on the screen. All right, cool. Listen, if you want to bring a guest, but let's pack the house. If you have not RSVP'd already, please make sure to RSVP. I'll see you guys tomorrow, first thing in the morning in Oakland at headquarters. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make sure that this is a week that counts. Peace.